Next, please. Yes, please. Okay.
I've come in to get some lunch, and they've got an anti-Hezbollah meal here with pork in it. So, unfortunately, can't do it. Not having it. Greetings from British Lebanese, expat of the motherland. Today I have a special tip for everybody. I'm dedicating this to the anti-Zionist. It's a horse. It's a tip in the shape of a horse. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. Have a look at my debunking tips Twitter account. One word. Situation is highly volatile in Lebanon. Lebanon have made a deal with Hezbollah, which I tweeted out. Check my timeline last night. When I say Lebanon has made a deal with Hezbollah, I mean the Lebanese army have done a deal with Hezbollah that if Israel attacks Lebanon, then the army will join, the Lebanese army will join Hezbollah. So this is not new news really in terms of previous times that Lebanon has been subjected to the continued aggression and violence and unrest. I like that word, unrest. Doesn't give it enough, doesn't give it enough clout, does it? There's no, unrest sounds a belittling way of describing a situation or an incident or a terrorist act.
I see it up there for about 11.99. I never thought it was Disney Plus. Usually on Sunday, I put Disney Plus on the check.
So the Lebanese army are with Hezbollah, and rightly so. I mean, let's face it. What is the Lebanese army? It is our foundation. It is an army which I support. When I say I support, it's a very complicated one, isn't it? Because the Lebanese army, what does it consist of? It's controlled by the Maronites. I believe, in my view, it's controlled by the Maronites and the Sunnis, who are affiliated to the Western forces. When I say affiliated to the Western forces, they've all got dual national status. 90% of Lebanese politicians have got dual national status. And somewhere along the line, they have signed allegiance to an alien state to Lebanon. So while I have been contacting when I say contacting, tweeting, populating my findings, as my lawyer told me to, a British lawyer, a qualified British lawyer, specialist British. Oi, oi. Yeah, right.
I find it weird that they go, but he paid, told me to put it in there. Because there's nowhere on the podium.
I got one for a bit later.
So that's the fucking...
So,
fucking 2 minutes up. Fucking get you up picked up for fucking this Friday.
I need to buy a stand for my
I'll put all this fucking
smartphone.
Yeah.
This happened in one of our sites. Let's just say no. We're not going to sack you.
Yeah. I want to talk about several subjects, including this tip that I'm giving out for everybody for later. Just when you got a sec, another one. I'm the last one in this queue, by the way. So there's a 5-horse race later on. There's 2 which are the outsiders, and there's a couple that that I've got my eyes on. But the main one that I've got my eyes on, it's called Tag Man. Tag Man. When you tag a man. And this selection here, Tag Man, I've given it out before. And the first, when I first see it, when it came out, I tipped it out to the public as part of my Black Operation Psychological Operation and NLP formula, which is how I debunk the gambling sector. Yeah, I don't look at horse names or anything. Although on this particular race, for the first time ever in the reputation of Lebanese tips, I'm going to talk about the owners of horses. I think Mullins owns Saint Sam in that race, in that very same race where Tag Man is. So Saint Sam is the favourite at roughly 1.61 odds, roughly. Now I don't know it, Saint Sam, and I'm going to do a bit of research a little bit later on as to whether it's a worthy one to back. The word Saint Sam, I'm not confident that word is what's being resonated today in this 5-horse race, because there's another message there, and that other message is a message where the word is mentioned by Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli terrorist leader, and that word is Beacon's Edge. Now, he made a statement in his speeches that, words towards the effect that they are at the beacon edge in the IT, in the cyber world, in the IT world. They're the leading. And quite frankly, we know they are. And so, Beacon's Edge is the second favourite. I believe it was about 3.75 odds or 350. Now, if I was to look at this race, basically there are 2 powerful messages here. One is Tag Man. What do they mean by Tag Man? Is when you tag a man, like this smartphone here that I've got in front of me, they are tagging me. Yeah? They tag me wherever I go. And to suggest that tagging man is a winning formula, which means it places first, second or third, in which case in this race I think there's only 2 places here in this race. Although if you do your due diligence, you may find a price for a 3rd place. But essentially I am saying that Tag Man may place in this race, and essentially what I am saying is put Tag Man on your tracker alerts. It will place, and it's a message, it's a subliminal message from the government saying that tagging. Oh, lovely, thank you so much. Shukran, Bibi. Saying that tag man is a okay thing to track men. And that's currently at 10 to 1 price. I'm not sure what it is to place. But Tagman and Beacon's Edge, I expect activity out of those two. I doubt that they'll both come in, but they are certainly in my... I doubt that they're both coming together, but I do suggest a naughty reverse forecast with using Beacon's Edge and using Tagman with one of the others. Perhaps together. I'm going to do one for them together because those words there, both of them are proper Zionist formulas. So there's them. I haven't looked at the rest of them. I did promise to do a podcast debunking over the weekend horse racing, but I'm in a very stressful situation where I got loved ones out in Lebanon right now in a highly volatile area, and as a result of that, I'm not 100%. I don't like giving out horse selection tips when I've got stress on me because it interferes with my focus, and it's not a good time to give out the public sports tips. This is very serious here. When I say this is very serious, this is money we're talking about, and as a result, I advocate in the gambling sector. It's just a little part-time to raise an awareness of the world refugee crisis, and I do that with a very massive piece of empathy in my heart for the real pandemic out there, and that real pandemic is the gambling pandemic. And I remind you that the former, I think, either minister or lady who was appointed to do a report on the gambling here in England, and she did, and when she'd done that report, it turned out to be a damning report, and she actually resigned because the government chose to pick a different way, the opposite way of what she said. And there are people out there dying left, right and centre. Only 3-4 days ago, I sat down in a old bookmakers that I used to go there, only because there used to be a Tottenham football player, a former Tottenham football player who used to go there, and I used to love listening to him debate with his other friend there. I think he worked for Sky Betting or Sky Bet or something like that, and they used to sit down together and discuss horses, and I used to listen to them in the background talk about how they're debunking it. But these guys here, footballers' reputations, they tend to go into investing in horse racing anyway, so there's no doubt about the fact that the horses are very much also owned by football stars, and I've debunked some of them. Now, I said to you I'm not going to talk about, I said to you I've never spoken about, I don't analyse sports selections by the owners of those sports selections. For example, horse racing, I don't use jockey names, I don't use owners of... I look at the selection itself, I don't look at stats or anything like that, and I debunk it by that, depending on what time it is going out, how far it's resonating out to the public at peak periods and so on, what sort of subliminal message the government are intending to send out. And this is how I debunk it. And Tagman seems an appropriate one, as well as Beacon's Edge. Beacon's Edge being the cyber world of Israel's domination. As a result, that selection now, I expect it to perform with or along with Tagman. Now, so let's get that one out of the way. I think I've done enough of that out of the way. I promoted that, but I'm not there are selections which I will sing out loud to the public. I will sing it out, I will tweet it out, I will repeat it again and again, and I will CC others and promote it. And those are the moments that you should be capturing, because I have a significant amount of confidence in what's going to happen. And the other moments where you should be concentrating on when I give out tips is if I include the hashtag holiday money, one word, then those are my strong tips. Then what I'm doing is I'm throwing that into the Tripoli Lebanon hashtag domain, if you like, and I'm populating it out to my people out in Tripoli. And I feel confident enough to do that for a place position. So I repeat, I do not back horses, and I do not recommend horses to be backed to win. I only give tips out to place. Yeah, I never ever give a tip out to win. It is a formula that I do, and the reason why I do it that way is because I reduce risk factor, and B, open opportunities up for a return. What is a return? A win bet. Yeah, I'm not seeking a winner, I'm seeking a win bet to give me money back on my profits. So I reduce the risk factor of risk, and I open the options of opportunity. And that's why I only tip to place. And that is the reason why I want to remind you how King Robbo, who was targeted by Banksy, my school classmate, King Robbo, yeah? Let me just repeat that. I'm the first person in the fucking country to predict that King Robbo was going to be famous. And he is world famous right now. King Robbo used to paint on the underground, the London Underground, his artwork. And I couldn't understand why you would do such a annoying, menacing thing. But they were 20 years ago, there were 8 million commuters that hit London Underground every day, in the morning and in the evening. And he knew, John Robertson, or otherwise to you, King Robbo, knew that he was allowing 8 million people to see his artwork. And that's how he got his message out. And in exactly the same way within the gambling sector, I capture the subliminal messages that the government send out, and I use event awareness. What do I mean by event awareness? Look at your stockbrokers and financial advisors. They go for event awareness trading. Yeah, well, I pick the geopolitical world that's around us, and I use those selections, those words, those terminologies, those subliminal messages that government are trying to program your mind using black operation, psychological operation, and neuro-linguistical practitioner skills. And as a result, I debunk the gambling sector using that way. So nothing is biased. Yeah, I don't pick what I want to pick. I pick using those 3 formulas there. So check out my Debunking Tips Twitter account. And for those of you who don't believe me on my presidential case, for those of you who don't believe that I received a call from the president's office in Lebanon, for those of you who don't believe that I received a phone call from the former prime minister of Lebanon, for those of you that don't believe that I am a 17 fucking day hunger striker targeted by a British racist MP called Emily Thornberry, yeah? Look who's following me right now. Look out who's following me right now. Check my fucking Twitter account right now. The political wing of Hezbollah has just followed me the last couple of days. Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I don't. Maybe because I've been getting my YouTube out to the public. Maybe because I've been informing them what the fuck is going on with racism in Islington. Yeah? Yeah? Now, it's scary stuff, isn't it? When the political wing of Hezbollah start to follow you. Isn't it? Isn't it? How do you think I feel now? How do you think I feel now with my case coming up? I've got 3 cases coming up I'm trying to debunk. What are my chances now? I'm not estranged to having political leaders following me. Nah. Yeah? The president of Lebanon was following my Twitter account, Michel Suleiman. Yeah? Look up the word, punch up the word, I will leave politics if the people vote me out. Yeah, and punch up the word Hariri, Saeed Hariri. Yeah, that headline there was because of me tweeting to Saeed Hariri from a Starbucks coffee shop in London's Old Street. And he was sending his journalist to the coffee shop that I was in. We're talking about the billionaire Saeed Hariri. So those of you out there who think I am not a influencer of Lebanon, yeah, advise me the definition of influencer. Advise me why Lebanon's #1 food blogger, Lebanon's #1 Forbes magazine food blogger quoted that indirectly about me on a radio station out in Lebanon the day after I exposed matters about his podcast. His name is Dr. Anthony Rayil. So look him up. Yeah, he only started following me because I'm the first person in the country to have a Lebanese falafel license in Tower Hamlets. Sectarianism is massive in London. Well, it certainly is in London, and I can see it. I can hear about it all over the country. We are in a sectarian state. So what I'm going to do today, for those Lebanese Tips fans of mine, is I'm going to provide a few more selections on horses so that you can hopefully combine them in a lucky 15 to place, yeah, i.e. land within the box. So your job when I give out these tips is to add them to your tracker. Because these tips that I give out ain't just normal tips like your Tom, Dick or Harry or Cabbage Patch tipster who gives out tips, or your tip service provider. Nah, mate. No. These tips give you a high rate of return repetitively over time. So they're not your normal tips. So my selections, when they, in the same way as John Robertson, King Robbo used to populate his artwork in London's underground, there is advertising space in the horse racing industry. What is that advertising space? That advertising space falls within the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th position in horse racing. In big races, massive world horse race events, they offer several places, 6, 7, 8 places, sometimes 9 places. So those messages that I capture, it's your first point of call is to go to find a bookmaker which offers you more places. What does that mean? So the one that offers you 4 places, you go and you search all the others and see that offers you maybe 5 places and go for that price, because that is how I debunk the gambling sector. Yeah, and I think, well, I don't think I am confident enough to come out here and put myself out on a platform there. Yeah, and I am no stranger to your celebrity horse racing celebrity commentators. They all fucking know who I am. Even your most well-known sports commentary, William Hill Studio, they all fucking know who I am. Even some of them in there are rats. Some of them in there, yeah, are rats who are funded by the bookmakers. Not just William Hill, you know. They're sponsored, and they're sponsored to shut the fuck up and not give out certain things. Whereas I'm not. So I'm a virgin to all that sponsorship. I've had my accounts shut because of it, and I've also I resisted talking about Palestine for a period of time, because when I was doing it, every time I was doing it and giving out tips and explaining why I gave out those tips, yeah, there is a correlation between bookmakers and Those people who speak with openness, those people who are raw talkers like me, those people who speak in total confidence. You're right. Oh gosh, the Jewish man is coming. Oh, our Jewish brother is coming. Our Yido friend is coming. Do you remember when I had that horse called Yido or something like that? No, it was called Yahud. Yahud. He came, ran across to the bookmakers to put a bet on it, and I went over there after him because I wanted to put a bet on it as well because I believed that there was going to be some action. So stick it on your tracker. It's called Yahud, and Yahud in Arabic translated to English means Jewish, a Jew, Jewish. I believe there's a councillor in Islington who wrote an article indirectly about me. I need that debunked. So if you independent investigative journalists are out there, or even politicians and councillors who are anti-Zionists out there, those articles that have been written about me without mentioning my name, I need them debunked. I need them brought forth to me, to my attention. I've already highlighted one of them that I believe that was written by Alice Clark Perry. Alice Perry Clark, a councillor in Islington, one of the other Jews in this ward there. And why am I saying it in that way? Yeah, because the majority of them in my constituency are Jewish. Majority. When there's an unbalance in ethnic minorities, yeah, what's wrong with me identifying that? What's wrong with me saying, well, look, I'm a former employer, yeah? I'm a former manager and I'm a former business owner, yeah? I have to understand what employment laws mean. I have to understand what racism means. I have to understand the balance of having equal ethnic minorities spread out equally. Yeah, we have a law in this country. You can't advertise a job. You can't put a job out to get someone in without advertising it in public. You have to advertise it in public so that it's available to the public. Yeah? So when I see an imbalance of one religion in a constituency, I don't give a toss what fucking religion it is. Yeah? I'm going to say it. So here in Islington, where I've lived since 1973, yeah? 1973, where I went to school where Pink Floyd sang The Wall in, and I went to school with King Robbo, who was my classmate. Yeah, so I'm proper old school British Lebanese. We see these things, we observe and we comment, and I'm a British Lebanese expat of the motherland, and I comment. So what am I, racist? For just spotting something with my eyes and relaying it to the public? Is that racism? I need Judge Zain debunked from a district judge. I need him debunked. Is he pro-Israeli? Why the fuck is he treating me like a piece of shit? Why is Judge Zain treating me like a piece of shit? Why the fuck am I being targeted by these Zionists continuously? ليش؟ شو المانياكي؟ I told my mum that Ibrahim, His Excellency, the political wing of Hezbollah, is following my Twitter account. She was very upset. She was very upset. She's upset because she's unfortunately watches all the mainstream media news, yeah, all the shitty bollocks, waffle, crap, Rupert Murdoch empire shit. Their brain gets filled up with a lot of bullshit. So I can't blame my mum for what she's saying, and quite frankly, she's right in many ways. But what can I say? He's following me because he recognizes that there is an injustice going on. With my right hand. Yesterday, the other day, I saluted you all with my left hand, and I was holding a bag. I think, and then I thought, shit, that might have been insulting. So here's one with my right hand. This is to the Lebanese army and those who join the Lebanese army. This one's to you, and those who protect the Lebanese army. This is another one to you as well. And really, you know, it's those who protect my people. Who are my people? Who are my people? My people is my local community here in London. My people are the people who I informed that Islington Council were removing asbestos without wearing protective clothes, and then going back to Islington Council staff, contaminating their workmates, and then going back home and contaminating their own damn fucking families. My empathy is to the Islington people and the residents and the tenants who I reported to Islington Police Station this 1.5 years before it hit front page fucking headlines. Yeah, I reported Keir contractors, not Keir Starmer. Nah. Is it a coincidence that Keir Contractors is also has the word Keir, as in Keir Starmer? Is it a coincidence? I don't know. I'll leave that for you lot to debunk. I'll leave that for you independent investigative journalists to debunk. But I'm the first person in the country who phoned the health and safety report officer at Keir Contractors, and then went straight to Islington Police Station and reported my MP with this mass genocide. Tens of thousands of people died in Islington. People who work in the council died in Islington. John Pritchard, one of my mates, yeah, a carpenter at Islington Council, died. Rob, the caretaker, yeah, in a local estate in Islington, died because of asbestos inhalation. My neighbour upstairs, where I used to live, died because of asbestos. Several people have died because of asbestos. My mum inhaled asbestos right now. She's suffering because of asbestos. I've got fucking asbestos in my flat that they promised to remove and issued an invoice, a pro forma for, and then one of their nasty Jewish lawyers in Islington Council, yeah, stopped it from happening. This is 8 days' work in my house to remove asbestos, which meant I have to fucking evacuate my house. And then 1.5 years later, after I reported to Islington Police Station, who do fuck all, yeah, I pick up a newspaper and it's front page national headlines. Not local, nah. Not local headlines, not local Islington Gazette or Islington Tribunal, those two newspapers who are notorious for error 404 on all their articles they bring out and then they delete off, they take off. I've already appeared on Islington Gazette. They took all my redundancy money. They took all my investment in my business that I was going to start up in London's vibrant Brick Lane when I got made redundant from Hewlett Packard. How many of you out there in Lebanon, yeah, work for Hewlett Packard? How many? There's not many of you. There's not many of you. I can guarantee you that. Well, I'm a British Lebanese who used to work for them. But when you reach that level of employ, that high level of status, yeah, and then you get cancelled or ridiculed by a Jewish, racist, pro-Israeli MP, yeah? You want to fucking talk about Islamophobia? It's right here in Islington. This is the heart of it. Islington is where most prime ministers were generated, became prime ministers, lived in Islington. Do you understand? Do you understand? And this travels across the world, you know? Look at Virginia. How many presidents have you had from America? Look at all the Zionist constituencies in Israel, in America. All those were populated with Jewish power or Zionist power, yeah? Because most of those have had presidents generated from them. So there's a pattern, and I'm debunking it before you. So the next president of America will most likely come from a constituency which has a high threshold of Jewish politicians, high threshold of Jews populated in that area in America. Mark my fucking words in history. I'm the first person who also, 2 years before President Trump became Trump, was populating to all my audience 7-1. Get on Trump is going to become president. Get on Trump, get on Trump, get on Trump. When I got arrested and put incommunicado on 17 days hunger strike, I lost over £850 of betting on tickets for Donald Trump to become president. Where did I lose that? How did I lose that? Through the police and the high category detention centre they stuck me in. Someone stole my tickets and went and fucking cashed them all in. And it could only be the police. CID, Mark Shea. He needs to be debunked. Mark Shea. Yeah? I want him banned entering Lebanon. They're anti-Zionists in Lebanon. I want CID, Mark Shea, banned entering Lebanon. I want Rachel Riley, a police officer, banned entering Lebanon. I want all Labour members banned entering Lebanon. All Labour members banned entering Lebanon. All Conservatives members banned entering Lebanon. This is my request. This is my advice to the Lebanese army, to the Lebanese government, to the anti-Zionists. You know who you are. Racism is ripe. Racism is as thick as thieves here in London. Islamophobia is as thick as thieves. I bear witness. I'm a fucking 17-day hunger striker. The highest form of human protest. There's many people out there who won't talk, who won't throw themselves on a platform like this. This is dangerous activity what I'm doing here, just by speaking with openness, telling the people about what happened to me. When the police found out I received some money, they decided to add another 2 charges on my case. And there is a There's the chief superintendent, the commander-in-chief, Raj Kohli. Check out my YouTube. I expose him on my YouTube in a phone call. He didn't want me to populate the phone call that I recorded. I blessed him with not recording it, with not populating it. He made a promise to me on his own fucking Twitter account to the public that he will issue a, quote, fact-finding mission on my, quote, presidential case, unquote. And for those who don't know what, quote, presidential case, unquote, means, who said it? It was a diplomat in the fucking Lebanese embassy here in London who I met and sat down with him and the First Council. Yeah? He called it, Ali Banout called it, quote, a presidential case, unquote. And I captured that, I caught that, I recorded that, and they fucking hate it. They fucking hate it, the Zionists and the Lebanese embassy here in London. Why? Because I recorded it. Yeah? They stopped after they promised to help me when they found out I recorded the president's phone call and I forwarded it to Jeremy Corbyn and other people, yeah? They stopped it. They stopped helping me. They stopped that promise that they made. I request the ambassador of the Lebanese embassy to be removed from the embassy. Send him back to Israel. Send him back to wherever he wants to go. I don't want him here. And why is it he's just received an award to be as a merchant of the City of London? What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? Why did they give him that reward? They obviously gave it to him for a reason. You don't get rewards by the Zionist government for no fucking reason. I want the ambassador Rami Mortada debunked. I want him destroyed. And I'm using that word specifically, the word destroyed, because the word destroyed is a legal jargon which is arguable in a court of law. What a waste of space here representing us, the British Lebanese. Go back home. We don't want you, mate. We don't want you. You ain't our mate. You're here to defend the Zionists. Yeah, well, we are anti-Zionists. And we are pointing you out. And on that note, I bid you a good day.